You want me to put that on my Tudor?
This one's wife. She craps on the Navy SEALs. Before we talk about the latest attention-seeking behaviour of this one's wife, once again demonstrating her rampant narcissism, let's have some context. The United States Navy SEALs, which is the United States Navy, Sea, Air and Land Teams, commonly known as Navy SEALs, are the US Navy's primary special operations force. Among their main functions are conducting small unit special operation missions in maritime, jungle, urban, Arctic, mountainous, and desert environments. They're typically ordered to capture or kill high-level targets or to gather intelligence behind enemy lines. SEAL team personnel are hand-selected, highly trained, and possess a high degree of proficiency in direct action and special reconnaissance, among other tasks like sabotage, demolition, intelligence gathering, and hydrographic reconnaissance, training and advising friendly militaries or other forces. They weren't founded until formally 1962, but their roots can be traced back to World War II, and they have seen action all around the world in lots of different conflicts. Selection for it is rigorous. Before being accepted into basic underwater demolition training, a prospective candidate must pass a certain number of both mental and physical requirements. This includes pre-enlistment medical screening, ASVAB, AFQT, CSORT and PST. The candidate must then get a SEAL contract by passing the SEAL physical screening test, which is a 500-yard swim in 12 minutes 30 seconds, 50 push-ups in 2 minutes, 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 10 consecutive pull-ups in 2 minutes, and a 1.5-mile run done in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Candidates receiving a passing score may then be admitted into training to become Navy SEALs. The training is extremely rigorous. The attrition rate fluctuates, but averages at about 80%. The average candidate spends over a year in a series of formal training courses before being awarded the Special Warfare Operator Naval Rating and the Navy Enlisted Classification. Accordingly, they have an 8-week naval recruit training, 8-week naval special warfare prep school, 3-week BUDS orientation, 24-week basic underwater demolition SEAL training, 3-week Army airborne school, 26-week SEAL qualification training. It is rigorous. And therefore, they are an elite unit. Anybody with a modicum of decency and understanding would recognise that these individuals rank as the best of the best, and therefore ought to be respected. And as we know, this one's wife and this one were at a Navy SEALs training centre, which they were involved in the opening of it in San Diego. Quite what she had to do with it, given that she's never seen service, well, it smacks of another attempt by her, of course, to rehabilitate her image. And all it does is cause people to question, why on earth is this Klingon hanging around involved with the Navy SEALs? Those who are in and have been in the Navy SEALs have demonstrated an extreme level of competence and have given their all for service to their country. Complete contrast with the parasite that is this one's wife. She attends the opening, and as you can see in the photograph that was appearing across your screen as I speak, we see how, once again, she demonstrates that she has no respect, that she has no guilt, no conscience, that her narcissism drives her to make it all about her. In the picture that you can see, which was posted by something called Bubbly with B on Instagram, and which was located and placed upon the Saint This One's Wife, they use a full name I don't, on the Reddit subthread, by Thriller Duchess, shows this one's wife usurping the function of those around her in order to bring the attention back onto her. I have made it patently clear in separate videos how any event which is not about the narcissist must be made into an event about the narcissist. This is why, when it's somebody's funeral, the narcissist starts a wailing and hammering on the coffin, saying how much they adored and they miss this individual, even though they've had nothing to do with them in the last 10 years and they're just a distant relative to the deceased. The narcissist must put on a performance to make it all about them. Or how at somebody's wedding, the narcissist may well turn up wearing white in order to upstage the bride. Or decide that they're going to make a speech to upstage the groom. Impromptu speech, even though they're not invited to do so. Getting on their feet at the wedding reception and talking. That when it's somebody's birthday party, they turn up late, making it a grand entrance to ensure that all eyes are upon them, or they provoke an argument with somebody, or they fall over into the birthday cake, whatever it might be. The narcissist must be the bride at somebody else's wedding, the corpse at a funeral, and the centre of attention at any other event you care to think of which isn't actually meant to be about the narcissist. And proving that to be very much the case, here we are with this one's wife. And the picture tells us so much. There's the CEO of the facility making a speech. Harry's waiting to make his speech. There's another guest stood waiting next to Harry. And where's this one's wife? Is she stood waiting while the CEO makes his speech? No. Is she stood by Prince Harry's side to support him? No. She's making a beeline for somebody in the crowd in order to go in for a hug. Yes. What an absolute cunt. And those of you who might be offended by profanity, I make no apologies for describing her as such. Her behaviour is basic, despicable, and disgusting. As you know, I'm a narcissistic psychopath, but I recognise the circumstances, particularly when it comes to matters of service and the military, where one demonstrates respect. These individuals have given their all, often with the ultimate sacrifice, their health or their life, for their country. And this nobody, and I mean that, she is a nobody. She's only known about because she lured in a ginger prince by putting her legs behind her ears and doling out the spicy poontang so that she married him and was catapulted onto the international world stage. Were it not for that, we wouldn't have any knowledge about her whatsoever. She has no talent, no sense of humour, no charisma, no understanding of the concept of service, notwithstanding her service is universal jibe that she made towards the late Queen. And here she is, when somebody else is addressing a crowd, deems that it's appropriate for her to make it all about her. Not only is it downright rude, but it is demonstrative of her narcissism. Arms raised, going in for the hug, no doubt, with somebody who is a plant, because, oh look, there just happens to be a fan of the Duchess of Sussex in the crowd. Isn't that fascinating? Similar to the way that we saw it during the Windsor walkabout, and how, there just happened to be some people who were fans of hers outside a hotel when she was wandering around in the middle of the night, and how just recently a woman who was shocked to bump into her and found her to be so kind. It is not only transparent in terms of the fact that it's staged, But the fact that it's being done when this event is about people who are far superior to this waste of space demonstrates the complete absence of ability to read the room, absence of conscience, and the fact that she hasn't a fucking clue. Harry, as you can see in the picture, is looking at the ground, whether he's contemplating his navel ahead of his speech or whether he is absolutely racked with embarrassment at his wife's behaviour. One would expect it to be the latter. It's not entirely clear. He has been embarrassed by her in the past, and we have seen him react accordingly. And here she's embarrassing him again, making it all about her. The CEO, Harry, and the other guest, respectfully continuing to do what is necessary, stood to one side. But oh no, there she is, stupid grin upon her face, diving towards a member of the crowd. It's an inappropriate act to start with. This isn't a meet and greet of the crowd. It's a serious opening of a function and a facility that's there to help people. It isn't a walkabout. You could certainly acknowledge the crowd with a little wave, smile towards them, but you don't go over and embracing them and greet them in the manner that she does. But of course, that doesn't matter to her, because she has no comprehension of how she should behave. You've seen that over and over again, how she breaches protocol. There'll be some numbskulls that say, she's just more informal, she's more relaxed about it. No, it's got nothing to do with that at all. It's everything to do with her narcissism, driving her to make it all about her. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And I would think that Harry perhaps has the good grace to look embarrassed and stare at his shoes as he thinks, Jesus Christ, she's doing it again. Having the rudeness to interrupt somebody else whilst they're speaking and to put herself front and centre so that all eyes are on her. It's not a surprise. After all, she's driven by her narcissism to do this, to ensure that she is the one that is seen. She does this in order to assert control over those tertiary sources and draw fuel from them. And because she has no emotional empathy for the speaker or other people there, that she has no emotional empathy for the SEALs, her narcissism causes her to crap all over the Navy SEALs, an elite unit that has got more integrity and respect in their little toes compared to this one's wife. The photograph gives you a fantastic example of her narcissism in action, demonstrating her sense of entitlement, her lack of accountability, the absence of emotional empathy, the necessity of making it all about her. What a weapons-grade helmet she is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.